Hi guys, welcome back to a little about LV. If you're new here, I am Lindsay V, and basically this channel is all the things that I like to get into on a weekly basis. So today what we're gonna do is some fall and Halloween crafts. I've been doing a lot of craft videos lately because I actually do a ton of crafts around my home and I never video it. So I'm really excited to show you what I'm doing today because it is the simplest crafts ever, and I know we all love that because nobody has time to have a lot of craft supplies and to do a lot of work. So today I'm gonna show you how to do two very simple yarn crafts. Super simple supplies that you're gonna need from your local craft stores, and it's gonna take you about 10 minutes maybe per craft to do. So if you don't have a lot of time, don't wanna go spend a lot of money, I'm gonna show you how to do the cutest crafts today. Two of them are hanging up right here. This is the second craft that we're doing today. This is my little yarn ghosties that are hanging up here. So we're gonna make these, and we're also going to be making little yarn pumpkins. How cute is this? This is gonna take you about 30 seconds to make. No lie, so cute. It's child friendly, which some of my crafts are not, and I have these all over my home. I'll show you some pictures at the end on where I decorated with these items so you can get some ideas on where to decorate with them in your home. But that is what we're gonna do today. So excited about showing you these crafts, so we're gonna jump right in. So now I am going to show you what you will need for these crafts. Again, super simple, don't need a lot. Basically, obviously, you're gonna need whatever color yarn that you want. That is the best thing about pretty much all the crafts that I do. It's all super customizable. Literally, anything that you wanna do, you can do. What I chose, first of all, obviously I've used this. It comes much more bulky than this. But this is the first thing I bought. This was from Michael's. They had it like buy one, get one 50% off. This one is a little more stiff, but it is the really soft, like cable knit type material. Got this in like a true pumpkin orange. And then for my ghosties, I got this, and this is another like really good like cable knit type material yarn, but this one is a lot softer, so it was a little bit harder to make the pumpkins with it, but we're gonna get into that in a second. So just keep that in mind. You can pretty much do any yarn that you would like for the ghost because you're just gonna be tying them onto the embroidery hoop, which is the other craft supply that you will need of any size. So just keep that in mind. You can pretty much use any kind of yarn that you want for those, but I would use something that was a little bit more stiff for the pumpkins. So yarn, embroidery hoop. You're also going to need pipe cleaners. Again, all of these are of your color choices. I chose brown, and you'll see why. You're also gonna need felt. I forgot about that. That is not optional. That's how we're making the faces on the ghost. So yarn, pipe cleaners, embroidery hoop, felt. That's everything that you're absolutely gonna need. Of course, you're also gonna need a glue gun and scissors for this craft. A couple things that are optional that I also have are string, because I use that to hang these ghosts, but you could also just use the yarn you already have, so that is not required. And then also these little beads that I also get from Hobby Lobby. You're gonna see me use that in the video today as well. This is just a little extra decoration that like I chose to put on the top of the ghost for me because it just matched the things in my home. But again, these two things are absolutely optional. You do not absolutely have to have these, and you could definitely just use the yarn to hang your ghost. So that is all that you're gonna need. I'm gonna list all this down below for you because I know, you know, I'm just kind of crazy and I jump around a lot, but it's all gonna be listed very easily down below for you. I always try to link everything so it's super simple for you to just like click on it, go purchase it, get your craft on. So gonna have everything down below, explaining it a little bit better. So now we're actually gonna get into using these. All right, so let's get into the little pumpkins first that I made. This truly is a craft you could probably do with your children. Of course, if you've seen my other video that everybody has loved, that is the fabric pumpkin craft, I use pins to pin them together, so obviously they are not child safe, hello. But these are, there's literally nothing in here. I don't think that, you know, I don't have kids, so use that at your own discretion, but I'm pretty sure these are safe. Anyways, so how I made these super cute little pumpkins is, again, you're gonna want something that's a little bit sturdier than this super like soft cable knit material. But all you're gonna do, I mean, you're not even gonna believe how easy this is, trust me. So I went ahead and cut off a piece of yarn here. It doesn't really matter the size, you're just gonna cut it in a second, so just kind of depends on how big you want your pumpkin to be. I cut off about a foot long piece here, and then this is actually what we're gonna make the pumpkin out of. I went ahead and rolled this up, but I'm gonna show you how I did that. I just cut this straight off of the yarn here. So you're gonna take this around your hand, put this little piece here, that's the last piece, and you are just going to wind this around your hand. You can do it more open-handed, that would make the pumpkin a little bit bigger. Really what's going to give the pumpkin its size is how much you wrap it, like how much yarn you actually use. So don't get too worried about like the actual size of it. Obviously this one was very, very small. I think I only did like 3 fingers for this one. So I wrapped it around this. You want to kind of like tie that into there, like just to make sure it doesn't get loose. And you're just going to continue to wrap this yarn around your hand openly. This is probably the longest that this craft is going to take, honestly, just you figuring out how big you want your pumpkin to be. So I'm going to bring this in here. As you can see, that's wrapped around my hand. So you're going to pull this off of your hand and lay it just like this with the loop to both sides on top of the piece of yarn that you already cut. And I tucked that end piece in there. All right, and now you're gonna bring this up and you're literally gonna tie this. Again, if you can tie your shoe, you can do this craft. Right here in the middle, you're gonna tie it, squeeze it tight. I tied mine twice, of course, just to make sure it did not come apart. And now you are going to fluff it up, tuck the ends in so it looks like a little circle, and that is literally it. That's the pumpkin. So now how I made the stem is I took this pipe cleaner. Again, you can make this whatever color you would like. You can make this as big or as small as you would like. So I just love that all of my crafts are super customizable. I know I'm probably not gonna use this whole thing, so obviously I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. And I just like to tuck it. You can either tuck it between what you already, like the little loop that you already made, or you could make another knot. That's totally up to you. As you can see there, I tucked it right under the knot that I already made. And now you are just gonna twist this pipe cleaner to make the stem. I really like to kind of twist the stem at the end. As you can see, it just kind of makes it a little bit more authentic. So I twist up the pipe cleaner just like that. And now I'm gonna cut the excess ends. You could probably just cut, tuck these in if you wanted to, but I just cut mine. And that is it. That is your little yarn pumpkin. Isn't he so cute? I have these all over my house and people are always like, that is the cutest thing ever. And I'm like, it took me less than a minute to make. I'm not even kidding. And you can do them any color, any size, any style, but that is how I made these little bitty pumpkins here. So again, I think this would be a cute craft even to do with your kids. So that is it for my little yarn pumpkin craft there. So let's move into the ghost. It's a little bit more complicated, but when I say complicated, I mean barely. Okay, so for our cute little ghost, obviously, as you could see before in the video, I made 2 different sizes. This one is the larger one that hung down a lot larger over here on this wall. Obviously, you can use any size that you would like. All you need is this embroidery hoop. Can we talk about how inexpensive these are? Like, this cost me less than $2. And then this, again, is the cable knit. very fluffy yarn that I got. This one just happened to match my home. Also, I liked that it was white. It has a little bit of discoloration in it. It actually literally has like some rust color and black in it, so I thought that was really fun for Halloween because that's what I'm going to use this for. So basically, as long as you can create a knot around this, you are going to be able to make these ghosts, okay? It's literally no big deal at all. Again, super customizable in the colors that you would like to use and how long you would like the lengths. You can always cut it at the end. So how I measured out how long I wanted these little ghosts to be is you have to remember that however long your string is, it's going to be half of that, okay? So just for reference, I would measure out how long you want these little ghosties to be by placing your hoop and then taking your string like this, doubled up, and then this will tell you if you cut it here, how long this will be. Obviously that's too long. So I'm gonna measure it out and it will be just a little bit shorter than what we make it here. So I'm gonna measure this out and basically I'm gonna cut this one string and then from that I'm gonna measure all my other strings for this little knot that we're gonna create to make the ghost. So I want it to be about this long. I want it to have like the really long ghosty, you know, look. It's gonna be slightly shorter than that because you are creating a knot at the top. So this is how long that I want it to be. So I'm going to cut this here. And so now I have my template for how long I want each string to be. Again, if you had cut it here by just measuring, it's gonna be way, way, way too short. So definitely double that up. And now you're gonna cut every single string to this size. The bigger hoop here, I chose to do 5 knots, okay, 1 in the middle and then 2 and 2. So in the middle, I did 7 strands. So I did 7, 6, and then 5, I believe. So that's what we're gonna do today. This does take a lot of yarn depending on how long you want the strings. Obviously for the big one, it took a lot more. For the small one, I only did 3 knots at the top. So we're gonna do 7 for the middle and then 6 and 5 on the sides. And then I'm gonna show you how to tie that, but let's go ahead and cut all the yarn that we're going to need. Again, all of them are gonna be the same length. To open another pack of yarn, and I just wanted to mention while I was, you know, telling you about the yarn that the color that I bought was white tweed. I hope you can see that there. Again, I'll list it below for you, but just in case you want to use this exact yarn here, that's exactly the color that I used. And this one is literally called Pumpkin, and I swear I did not look at that until right now, but that is the color on that. Again, gonna link it down below, but just wanted to mention white tweed, pumpkin, still cutting the strings. Okay, so don't hate me. I think what I actually did was 6, 5, and 4 instead of the previous numbers that I just said for the embroidery hoop. Okay, just like, you know, it's fine. You know, it's 2021. We're all trying to do the best that we can, including myself. So what I'm gonna do now is take the 6 pieces that I cut and put them here. And this is how I tied the knot. So you wanna make sure that your strings are, you know, relatively even here. Again, we can cut these off at the bottom a little bit. You want it to be a little bit boho vibe-ish, so no big deal. So what you're gonna do is take your embroidery hoop, take your loop here, and it's gonna be a simple pull through the loop, okay? So you're just gonna pull it straight through, and this is how it is going to stay on the hoop, okay? So then you're gonna tie it tight, and that's literally it. That's all you do. So that is how you create the actual loop at the top. It should look just like that, and we're gonna do that 4 more times on either side with the corresponding amount. Again, I wanted to make sure that I covered up the little metal piece here, so I put that at the bottom of the ghost. So now we're just gonna complete both sides and move on. And just in case you needed to see it one more time, this is the pieces of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 that I did. This was 6 pieces. All you're gonna do, again, embroidery hoop, pull your strands through. You have the loop here, right? And you're just going to pull it through and pull it tight. And that's it. That's all you could do. Honestly, your kids could probably do this with you too. Alright guys, so that is it. I know I'm trying to show you this like in this very small space, but that is it. That's it for our little ghost. It's gonna look just like this one up here. Now we are going to make the face. You can make this any way that you would like. I liked, you know, the little like open mouth ghosty look. So what I used for this is just some felt. Don't ask me why I have orange. I was gonna do some more decoration, but I just liked them the way that they were. So I have black felt here. Unless you have chalk or like a white marker or something like that, it is hard to, you know, just, I mean, unless you're just really good at just like randomly cutting things out. So I did use a template of some brown felt that I had that I could actually write on, so I would know how I wanted to do the faces. But basically the face is totally up to you. I'm gonna cut out 3 circles. The mouth is gonna be kind of oblong and a little misshapen. And then I also like to cut out just a little bit of the eye there just to give it a little bit more detail. It looks kind of like a highlight. So that is what I'm gonna be doing now, and then I'm gonna show you how we glue it on. So now we have those pieces cut out. Again, these little highlights in the eyes, I just thought they were cute, but they're definitely like super optional. You don't have to do that. Make sure everything is straight down, and then you are easily going to be able to place the face. But before I do that, I wanted to show you how I created the tie at the top. The reason why I waited till now is because this is totally optional. You could definitely just take a piece of the yarn that you already used, tie it up real quickly at the top, and it'd be super simple. It wouldn't have to go through a little bit of the extra step that I took. However, I wanted to use some string. This string is in my home in a lot of different places. It also matches the ghost. So are these beads. If you've seen me do any other like bead craft like this for like the boho vibe that's in my house. So that being said, because I'm going to be using this like in my home, you know, it's obviously Halloween, but I wanted it to kind of fit in my home. So that is why I wanted to give it a little bit, and also this like matches the embroidery hoop. I wanted to give it a little bit of like a feel of my home. So again, these are the beads that I get from Hobby Lobby and use all the time. I'll also link those down below for you. But I'm going to show you how I created the top if you want to give it a little extra pizzazz. You could also do this with like colored beads if you wanted to, orange and black, anything like that. So all that I did was I just added this string. I kind of split the top knot here just so that it would be completely centered. So once you have this, I measured out like how long I wanted this string to be from wherever I was going to hang it from, and I cut it there. After that, I added this bead at the top, sticking both strings through because I want it to be over both of them, not just one. All right, so I strung this little bead here at the top. You could do several. I just had one because I didn't want it to be like a super focal point, but as you can see from the front there, it just added a little bit more. And then I'm gonna tie the top off in a knot. But again, being super extra like that is not a requirement unless you're me. So now we're going to actually attach the face. Again, it's very important that you make sure this is, you could also do this hanging if you wanted to. I just prefer to do it laying down, also it's best for the video. So I made sure everything was exactly the way that I wanted it, spread everything out, made sure it was laid flat, and now we're just going to hot glue the face on. So I'm gonna go ahead and position it the way that I would like. First of all, that's about where I want it, and then I have my hot glue gun ready. And that's your ghost. That's how simple it was. I know you already saw it hanging up at the beginning of the video, but again, super customizable. You know, I want everybody to know that, like, you don't have to do it just the way that I did it. It's just an idea, but this is the way it turned out, and I absolutely love it. That is it for today's video. I hope you guys really enjoyed these super simple yarn crafts. You can throw these together really quickly and for pennies on the dollar. Like, it is so simple and cheap to make these, and they're not going to take you a lot of time because, again, nobody has that. So I hope you really enjoyed these. I'm going to link everything down below that you might need for these crafts. I hope you enjoyed seeing them in my home. You can also follow me on Instagram at alittle.about.lv. I'll put that here so that you can see other home decor crafts. But that is it for today. Don't forget to give this video a thumbs up. If you have any comments or questions, list them down below for me. Don't forget to subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you all in my next video. Thanks again so much for watching A Little About LV.